Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another weekly dose of aviation. And coming up in this episode, a plane makes an emergency landing, the Spitfire celebrates its anniversary, and Wizz Air might fly to America. So, first of all, this week, on Monday, a United Airlines Boeing 787 had an engine malfunction whilst departing Los Angeles Airport. The aircraft departed Los Angeles Airport and climbed to about 18,000 feet when the pilots had an emergency with engine number 1. They decided to make a U-turn and landed safely back at Los Angeles Airport. The passengers did have to get evacuated of the aircraft using emergency slides, and emergency services were also engaged just in case something happened during the landing. The airport did have to close its ground operations for approximately 1 hour before the aircraft could be cleared off the runway. The FAA are probably going to be investigating this and what happened to the Boeing 787. So now we go to New York, where a small Cessna 172 crashed just outside of New York in the Hudson River. The aircraft was originally doing circuits around airports, training new pilots, but on its fifth flight it decided to go further out along the Hudson River and to an airport nearby. They did 2 circuits successfully and then tried to do a third one, and after doing the third one they decided to abort it and then went back around to have another attempt. Sadly, whilst doing this, the engine failed, causing them to land in the Hudson River. Happily, everyone got out of the water safely, as the water was very cold, as it was at -4 degrees. But happily, emergency services arrived at the scene fairly quickly, and everyone evacuated safely. There was only 2 people on board, and all are safe. Alongside this, on Wednesday, there was an evacuation flight operated by Air India, carrying all the stranded pilots and cabin crew out of Dubai. As you can see on the pictures, the aircraft contained mostly pilots and cabin crew further back along the aircraft, which were being evacuated to safely and back to India. The aircraft departed and was escorted by 2 fighter jets, just so it didn't get shot down by any Iranian drones or other incoming missiles. As you can see, this was just quite a funny flight, as most of the pilots, so it was quite a safe flight to be on in case 2 pilots did manage to somehow pass out, but it's just an interesting thing that happened on Wednesday. On Thursday, the Spitfire celebrated over 75 years after its being made. The aircraft did a couple of air shows and was also put on display in many cities across the UK to celebrate the 75th anniversary of production of the Spitfire. As we all know, the Spitfire is not produced anymore, and there are only about 4 flying replicas still with us today. Most of the actual aircraft that were produced are just being in museums, as it's too risky to fly them, as they are quite memorable planes. The RAF has made a statement saying that just celebrating the Spitfire's 75th anniversary, and it's just another cool thing that happened this week. Now, on Friday, Delta Airlines announced that any passengers on board who are playing audio from phones, tablets, or any other sources that can produce audio will be removed from the aircraft. This comes as they want everyone to wear headphones so everyone can have an enjoyable flight. They always encourage people to bring headphones and wear them to stop distracting others and let other people sleep peacefully or just enjoy the flight. They have now made it a legal requirement for people to listen to audio on headphones. We don't know whether they'll be giving out free headphones on the flights or whether you'll have to have their own, but I think it's still quite cool to see that the airline is thinking about other passengers, not just one person who's going to ruin the flight for everyone. Now, big news on Sunday, as Wizz Air announced that they could possibly be starting flights to America from Europe for cheap tickets. This is as the airline is starting to develop more and more, flying to more countries, and now starting to develop outside of Europe. This comes as a couple of years ago they started flying to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, but now have removed that route due to low interest. Flying to America could be big risks for the airline, as it includes a lot of money for paying for stands at airports, more staff, so it is a big move for the airline to make and could possibly be an acknowledgement that they could be buying bigger and long haul aircraft. We still don't know much about it, but I'll keep you guys updated about this. And that about sums up everything that has happened this week. As you can see, we've not had many emergencies this week, so it's mostly quite a peaceful week in the aviation world. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.